Namaste and Vanakkam to all the participants who are witnessing this super session from across India. This happens to be our fifth super session, which we typically do in the evening time, inviting one masterclass speaker. My name is Suresh Babu. I am part of ICT Academy. I'll be hosting this super session. We have with us today Mr. Ramesh Prabbha, an interesting personality, the man who needs no introduction to most of us, especially in the education sector. I think he's a most prominent figure, I would say. But I will take the liberty of introducing him because many people from across India are participating, and it is always worthwhile to introduce him by telling something interesting about him. So he has, he introduced himself as chairman and managing director of Galaxy Group of Companies. He's according to me, I've seen him for the last 15-20 years. He has anchored so many shows. One point in time, I always thought that he's a media personality and he's more of an anchor. But over a period of time, he started doing this career counseling programs. I would say the last 20 years, he has been involved actively in enlightening and enabling the students, especially in the rural part of the country. And he has given a lot of talk shows, inspirational programs, motivational sessions, several sessions for the management graduates. Not just that, he has been doing a lot of faculty development program on various avenues. So today, Mr. Ramesh Prabbha is with us today. He's a person who's a very learned person. He's multifaceted in his profession as well as in education as well. He has done his BSc chemistry in Madras University, and then he went on to do a BTech in production engineering from Anna University. And completely a contrast, he did his marketing management from Indian Institute of Management, Kolkata. So very multifaceted and a very eminent personality, and very thankful, sir. On behalf of ICT Academy, I extend my warm welcome for this masterclass on improving the skill set and changing attitude. So we have with us close to 2,000 to 2,500 educators who will be part of this super session. So the next 1 hour, probably you can enlighten us on various aspects on how, especially the post-pandemic is going to be a completely different world. Very specifically in the education, it is going to be a lot of disruption, lot of changes, lot of models which are going to change. And we are envisaging that the teachers, very specifically the educators, has to adopt themselves. They need to cope with this kind of a changing trend. So the next 1 hour, the floor is open to you, sir. So we'll be delighted to listen from you. And towards the end of the session, I will pick and choose select a couple of questions which you can answer, and probably we'll wind off this masterclass. So that's the agenda as such, sir. So over to you for your insights.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, educators and professionals. I thank ICT Academy for giving me this opportunity to talk to thousands of faculty all over the country across various disciplines. In the communication sent to you, you might have seen a photograph of me showing somewhat younger than this. Okay, you have to pardon me. This is the last 2.5 months at home, not going to salon, not going to parlor, not coloring. So I have attained this majestic look of a senior professor, I can say. So I'm proud of this look, actually. Okay. In this session, I understand that we have people ranging from college correspondents, principals, HODs, professors, and assistant professors. First of all, let me assure you that this is not going to be an advice session, that how to be a good teacher, what a teacher requires. Definitely, this kind of advice will not be there in this session. This, I can say, more of a sharing of my expertise, my 35 years of expertise in the sense, he's introduced me, but still I'll tell you my profile. I have a range of background. I don't know whether anyone else also will have a similar opportunity to get this kind of background. I come from a deep rural village called Melapuliyur from Perambalur district. When I was born, it was Trichy district actually, Tiruchirappalli. Now it's under Perambalur district, one of the most backward districts actually. So I come from an first generation agricultural family. So studied in a government school, studied in a Tamil medium. Then from there shifted to Chennai, where it was a last batch of pre-university course actually. Immediately after that, it became +2. So then I did my BSc chemistry in A.M. Jain College, Meenambakam. So I have a fairly good experience of an arts and science college and science stream actually. Then next to that, I moved to MIT, Madras Institute of Technology and Rana University, where my super senior is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I did a bit of production technology, and at that time it used to be a post-BSc course. Now MIT has become a +2 oriented engineering program, but till a certain point of time, it used to be a post-BSc course. You need to have either mathematics or physics or chemistry, one of the streams in BSc, then you will be admitted to BTech in 5 special disciplines. So I did production technology. Then after which I went to IIM Kolkata and specialized in marketing, where it's specifically in advertising industry. So that's my core domain even now. Later, I built a campus called Galaxy Institute of Management. So now I've taken a role of a chairman or correspondent of an institution also. So to share, I have some qualification to share the various expertise I have gained out of all these institutions. The other facet of mine is, like Suresh Babu has introduced, for the last 25 years, I'm doing career counseling as a passion. I've traveled all 37 districts of Tamil Nadu. I talk to 10 +1 and +2 students. Before exam, I motivate them for the examination. And post-examination, I tell them what are the course options available across the country. So over the 25 years, almost 25 lakhs of students have met and guided them. Later, when they enter the college, they call me as a chief guest. So that's how I entered to all the arts and science, engineering, and medical institutions as a chief guest. I go on 2 or 3 occasions as during the induction program for the first day. When they come along with the parents, I motivate them. Then I go for the annual day. I go for pre-placement talk. So with all this kind of expertise, I've studied the students. I know what is this generation. I know their profile. I understand that their psychology. So I thought with all this, I can share my expertise rather than advising you. I can share a lot of things which will be useful to you. That's what I feel. So when I suggested this topic to ICT, improving the skill set and changing the attitude, ICT immediately reacted and said, "Sir, this topic sounds as if it's designed for the students, but this is for faculty, sir." Then I said, "I know. I've done it intentionally. So whatever we intend to talk for students, in today's scenario, this is required for the faculty also." So I thought I'll take this because in my profession, apart from being an educator, I'm a business consultant. I'm a marketing strategist. I'm a branding expert. So now what I'm going to do is I look education as an industry. And as you said, we try to solve what are the problems we face, and especially post-COVID. We talk a lot of things like online education. We spend crores of money. But the irony is, as usual, the digital divide, where you have hardly a very, very few percentage of own computers at home in the rural, and the net penetration is very poor in the rural. And with this, all this background, we are thinking of talking about online education, and already a lot of schools have started implementing this. But there's a very big question mark. And the irony of the other part is, even now, the online degree is not recognized in our country. When I conducted an interview for some of the postgraduate positions, when they submit their online degree, postgraduate online doctorate kind of thing, none of our universities accept that as a qualification so far. So we have a lot of challenges yet to come over all these kind of things. So let me talk about the irrespective of the COVID scenario. Let me talk about the current scenario of education across engineering, arts and science, and all disciplines. Since the faculty here are mixed set, and you come from all the domain. Let me start with the engineering education, since that's predominant. As of last year, there are 504 engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu alone under Anna University. Out of these 504 engineering colleges, almost 475 are self-financing private engineering colleges. And sorry to tell this, out of this 475, closer to 200 are in a winding up stage. And with this background, so much of demarketing is happening for the engineering education. Today you can see hundreds and hundreds of memes coming in WhatsApp making fun out of the engineering education. Most of the movies today, they have a dialogue or a comedy sequences based on this engineering education. Why is this happening? And is it true? With so much of demarketing, how are these 500 plus engineering colleges in Tamil Nadu alone, so many thousands of colleges in the country is going to survive? So when I analyze this pattern, why this is happening, what is happening? But even now, lakhs of students are joining this course, and lakhs are completing it successfully and going for good placement also. But the positive side is not projected. The negative side of this engineering education is exaggerated. Why is this exaggerated? See, the problem here is when, say, in Anna University alone, closer to 2.5 lakhs when they join engineering education every year, the percentage which completes the course is only sizable. See, the major chunk, and they have at least 4 to 6 arrears at the end of the 4th year. Now, what I'm talking about is minimum. So, even though this many lakhs join, the percentage who completes engineering within these 4 years is only considerable. You can say not even 50% actually. So that is one part of it. The other part of it, balance 50%, who were complete successfully without any arrears, they lack employability skills. That is the another irony. When some company comes to campus, they insist on biodatas without arrears. So, okay, we filter and give a sizable number of biodatas. After that, the second problem is when they enter the interview hall, it's a surprise factor and a shocking factor that the major chunk, they don't possess the employability skills. When we mean employability skills, we know the first and primary is communication skill. The other things, traits that we talk about, initiative, leadership, teamwork, all these kind of things. Okay, but my today's topic and my today's focus is going to be only this. When we talk about all these skills for the students, can we ask a question that how many of the faculty among us possess these qualities? Whether it's engineering or arts and science, you take any domain. What is the percentage of faculty possess these kind of qualities which we expect from the students? Let us start with the first factor, communication skills. When we mean communication skills, obviously you know that English communication. Somebody speaking fluently in an English background. See, can we pose this question to us? You know, we are working with our colleagues and a sizable chunk of faculty. How many of the faculty are, first of all, fluent in English? See, when we take our kid to a convent, most of us, irrespective of our family background, we want our kids to come out from a convent or English medium school. So, when the kid is in, whether it's in LKG or UKG during the convent stay, the kid speaks very good English actually. Where does it come from? It comes from a teacher who is taking that primary class with a very good English background. So the same thing happens here in your UG, whether it's arts and science or engineering, any of this background, the UG student spends the whole day with you. Most of the time, the student is with you. The whole day is with you. And if the faculty who are teaching or who are taking classes for 6 to 8 periods during the day, if they are not fluent in English, how do we expect the UG students or the engineering students at the end of the fourth year to speak fluent or comfortable English? Let me start. Let us face this problem very, very boldly, and let us analyze ourselves. Let me first start with the pronunciation itself. See, we have a discipline called robotics. Okay, that every engineering college may not have a branch for robotics, but today it's a fashion to talk about this discipline, and you may have one of the specializations or in a PG or in research we talk about. Anyhow, that's a discipline. Robotics is a discipline. When you talk about the discipline, robotics, pronunciation of robotics is okay. But when you talk about robo, most of the faculty call it as a robot. You don't call it as a robo. Even though a popular movie is there, you don't call it as a robo, you say robot, actually. See, then how do you expect the student to pronounce it as a robo? And you can say that in any of these mechanical or any of these branches, this pneumatic system is a common terminology we use, pneumatic systems. Even today, I can see faculties who pronounce it as pneumatic. It's not to laugh, actually. It's a serious thing to talk about. It happens in their day-to-day life itself. One faculty will say that today is our HOD's birthday. So he's taken all the faculty, all of us, to buffet lunch. So it's buffet. It's not buffet. But the problem is, in our day-to-day life, many of our faculty pronounce like this. And how do you expect the student to pronounce correctly later? Same way, the one is pronunciation. The other thing is about the context of usage or context of various terminologies actually. For example, I'll tell you an interesting incident. A few months ago, I was in the panel of selecting an assistant professor for an engineering college. The engineering college is in a remote place actually. So they wanted to select a faculty, assistant professor. I was also in the panel. So the faculty was negotiating for his salary with the management. I was keeping quiet. And for asking more money for the transport, you know what the faculty said? The faculty said, "Sir, I've noticed this area is very remote. There is no public convenience available here. So I want more money, sir." So immediately I entered and said, "There may not be any public convenience, but the college has a very good toilet." He's not able to understand the joke. So he still become very serious and again said, "No, sir, no public convenience, sir." So the idea is he wants to talk about public conveyance. But till the last minute, without knowing that he's using a wrong usage, he's kept on saying public convenience actually. So this is how the standard. This is how it happens. There's another faculty who's from the management discipline. One day he came to me and said, "Sir, a lot of medical students are interested in joining MBA, sir. I've spoken to a lot of students from BPharm, BDS, and various disciplines. So they want to do, even some of the MBBS students also, they want to join management, sir. Why not we start hospitality management?" That's what he said. I told him, "Fine, we will start. But do you want to start hospital management or hospitality management?" He said, "Yes, sir. They are medical students, sir. So we'll start hospitality management, sir." So even though from the industry also, the differentiation between hospitality and hospital management, there is a very big confusion among the faculty itself. The hospital management, you finally you finish the course and you end up going for a job, going to a corporate hospital to manage the hospital. That's hospital management. What is hospitality management? Hospitality management means it talks about tours and travels. It talks about the tourism industry. It talks about 5-star hotels. So these even the hospitals will come under that. But that is hospitality. So the differentiation between hospital and hospitality, that itself is another area. Likewise, we use a lot of wrong terminologies. See, today we talk about big data, data analytics. So many areas are there in engineering, but even now, the faculty end up using the term datas, which is wrong. It's a matter of singular and plural. Datum, D-A-T-U-M is singular. Data is plural. So already data itself is plural. There's a term called datas. Even though it's a very, very, very common usage saying datas. And when you use this, finally the student from the day one assumes that the faculty is more knowledgeable and he's correct. And he starts using from the day one without knowing that. Similarly, if you take any arts and science college, you take the visual communication department or a journalism department or a say mass communication department. What they do is they use the term again, medias. There's no media. Sir, yesterday, the news appeared in all the medias. That's what they use. Medium is singular and media is plural. There is no medias actually. But the problem is many of the faculty, since they start use this in the curriculum and when they teach, today I've seen people in the media industry who are in a very senior position using the term medias. But it originated from the faculty in the institution. So my very sincere suggestion is without any hesitation, let the faculty self-evaluate themselves about their English communication. It's easy. Let us self-evaluate. You don't have to do it in front of a student. He already knows. And you can do it on yourself, or you can do it with your peer group of faculties. Assess your English communication. See, most of you will be comfortable in writing because you read a lot, you write reports, you write theses, you write publications. So writing may not be that difficult for you. So, or even if it's there, somebody can polish it. So that's not going to be a major issue. But the spoken communication is very obvious, and you are influencing thousands and thousands of students. If you feel that your spoken communication is not up to the mark, not up to the standard, please don't hesitate to attend an English communication class. This can be done in several ways, actually. Your college, for a set of faculty, they can organize, whether internally. If you think that attending internally will not look good, you may do it outside. So you don't have to be ashamed of this, actually. After all, we are improving ourselves, and after all, English is not our mother tongue. There's nothing to be ashamed of it, actually. But this is highly critical in today's scenario, when we talk about the communication skills of the students. When we expect them to improve this, obviously, we need to improve first. We need to set right things. That's what I feel. Okay. The next set of skills, when I talked about, is about initiative and leadership. This normally lacks in students, actually, but this cannot happen in institutions also, at the faculty level also. I'll quote an example, and from there I'll take on this topic. 2 months ago, one of a popular automobile company from Oregon approached me for an exercise. Approached me in the sense of me as well as my institution for the purpose. So the idea is they have 200 engineers, graduate engineers in their factory. And now, after a few years, they're at a middle management level. They are with say 5 to 8 years kind of experience. Now they want to elevate 20 of them to managerial cadre. You know, somebody when they join as a engineering trainee, then you become a junior engineer, senior engineer. At various levels you grow. Then you go enter the management cadre. So this factory wants to elevate 20 of their engineers to management cadre. So they want my help, our institution's help, to train them managerial qualities. There are two things. First is to identify the 20 itself is a bigger task. That job is given to us. So we need to identify potential managers, 20 potential managers out of this 200 crowd, and pick those 20. They will promote it to the next level. And before they're entering the management job, we need to train them for 1 month on the managerial qualities, because it's totally different. So what should happen in the college? This should be the same pattern. When an automobile company elevates 20 of their engineers to managerial cadre, the similar pattern has to be done in a college also. But what happens in a college? You understand? When a principal resigns, most of the cases, none of the existing HODs are elevated as a principal. We advertise for a principal and recruit a principal. And most of the times, if one of the HOD resigns, Obviously, the one of the professors under him has to be elevated as a HOD. But in most cases, we advertise for a HOD and recruit a HOD from outside. Why? Why does this happen? The reason being, many of the faculty, even though they are at a senior level, they are not exposed to administrative work. They hesitate to go beyond teaching. They don't volunteer to take work beyond teaching. They hesitate to accept. They think it's something different and it's difficult or kind of thing, or they don't want to take a workload. So, what are the kind of areas you will involve in an institution, education institution? For example, every year you enter data in the AICTE portal for a renewal. This has to be done by some administrative person. But in an engineering institution, for each department you need to enter it. It's a huge data. So the job will be assigned to one person from each department, and finally somebody else will do the overall coordination job. The other area similar to that is your university affiliation work. In the case of engineering, it's an university affiliation. In the case of other universities, arts and science universities, the respective universities. Similarly, like AICTE work, you have Directorate of Collegiate Education work. So this is a annual work. It's done continuously. Then you know about the ranking, NAC ranking, NBA ranking, all this. This again needs lot of administrative work, lot of data, lot of paperwork, all this kind of thing. So many times you don't have an exclusive person for doing this kind of things. This normally comes out of a faculty only. So the faculty, whoever volunteers this kind, or whoever involves on their own, they get exposure in this lines. So unless you involve in this kind of administrative work voluntarily and gain some kind of administrative exposure, your career advancement in the institution is very, very tough. It will be very, very difficult. That is the reason there are faculty for more than 20 years in the same level. They are not elevated to the next level. So you have to do the elevation. I will give you another interesting fact. There is a survey done among the faculty who are attending FDP programs regularly, faculty development program. Many of you are attending regularly, and so a lot of them attend regularly. So there was a survey done among the participants. There are two ways of asking it. One is, what are the expectations from an FDP program? This is one question. Once they will complete the program, what are the benefits you got out of this FD program? And the results almost matched. Both before and after. It matched actually. There were almost 10 set of things. Somebody said, I've learned report writing. Somebody said, I've learned research methodology. Somebody said, I've learned teaching methodology. Like that, everyone has said so many. These are some of the common factors. But one factor was very dominant with a higher percentage, that is admin work, improving my admin skills. Both in the expectation as well as in the result, the higher percentage in the survey that has come out is the faculty said, I have learned admin skills. My admin skills are improved out of this FDP program. That's perfect. But the problem is, it's a temporary one. It's a temporary one. When I go to educational institution, I talk to 2,000 or 3,000 students. I give a very powerful motivation session. I give them full energy, everything fine. When I meet them after 20 days, they said, sir, that's temporary. For last 20 days, we were very energetic, but now we need one more. It's like that. The same thing. When you attend FTP programs also, in a near hardly attend, you attend for a few days actually. That alone cannot help. So unless you practice it, as I said, you volunteer it. You go to the principal, you go to the management and ask for admin work. Unless you volunteer it, it will not happen. The problem here is, again, many of the colleges are located in a remote place, especially in the Chennai kind of environment. The boy or the girl, the student sleeps in the bus for almost for 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening, exhausted, not even have time for study. Similar situation for the faculty also. You are also exhausted. So you are waiting for the bus to stop. So I think when you have to have advancement in your career and career development, you have to sacrifice something. So you voluntarily up for this kind of admin works. Okay. The next skill development which we expect from the student is teamwork. Today, that's the mantra, and even the IT companies face that actually. There is a team leader. There are 20 people working under him in a software company. The managing the team is not that easy. All the time, he needs energy to solve the problems, kind of thing. Similarly, this is more among the faculty. All the time, the politics among the faculty is the highest, I can say. You know better. Two HODs cannot get along well. Within the same department, two faculties cannot get along well. So if you take the most of the time, the principal spends his time in solving the issues, solving the problem, or solving the politics among the HODs or among the faculties. That is most of the time spent for this purpose actually. I think you have to come. You are in a matured position. You are in a senior position. You are in a position to teach others. You are in a position to tell others. I think you have to come out of this unless you have the quality of working with others, working in a team. This is more of, you can say, how do you say? It's interpersonal skills, more of interpersonal skills. Unless you develop this, it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to come out of it. I think we should develop that. Fine. The next aspect of it is so far I've been talking about employability skills actually, which I said the faculty also need to possess. Now I'm talking about the arrears point of view. Whether you take an engineering college or arts and science college, why so many people are not able to complete the course within the stipulated years? Why they have so many arrears? If you analyze, I have analyzed from my shoes actually. Large chunk of our students come from rural background, and large chunk come from a Tamil medium background. If you take the other states, the students studied from mother tongue background, and a dominant section come from government schools, and a sizable chunk come from the socially disadvantaged background. So most of the times the faculty ignore this factor. We need to have a inclusiveness, socially inclusiveness in our mind. Their problems are separate. They come from a different background. So you need to understand their background. You need to understand their problems. You need to segregate them, even though it sounds odd. You need to segregate them separately and give a specific focus for them. Once you do it, they will also shine. So I'll tell you, studying in Tamil medium or studying in mother tongue is not inferior, first of all. You have to make them realize, you have to remove the inferiority complex they have on these factors. You have to tell them it's not inferior. Let me give good examples. Anna University is the world's largest technical university. If you take the history, all the vice chancellors are from Tamil medium and government school backgrounds. Dr. V.C. Kulandeswamy is a very big scientist, world-renowned scientist. He comes from a village near Karur in Tamil Nadu, comes from an agricultural family, comes from a government school background, comes from a Tamil medium background. So many people succeeded. Dr. Vasagam, Dr. Balaguru Swami, Dr. Manoj Javakar. All of them have a uniform or unique background of studying in a government school with a Tamil medium background. They have succeeded. They were leading the world's largest technical university. Why? You take a better example. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, my senior in the college. Again, he comes from a similar background, with a government school, with a Tamil medium kind of background. World-renowned scientist. Even if you take the other scientists, examples of other scientists, Mr. Mailsami Annadurai, my another Syrian, Dr. Sivan from ISRO. All of them come from a Tamil medium background, from a government school kind of background. I come from a similar background. So you have to make them realize that it's not inferior. But the only thing is, again, you need a segregation. You need to focus your attention separately for them. And their treatment needs to be totally separate. Once you do that, definitely they will also be in the mainstream, and they will also be able to cope up with academics with their other peer group. As far as the engineering is concerned, the major constraint I feel is, apart from the medium, it's mathematics. Today, when I go to 10 plus 1 plus 2, I tell them only in the area of your aptitude you go for an education. For example, for an engineer, you need a quantitative aptitude. Unless you are very strong, you are good in mathematics, you will not succeed in engineering. So my basic thumb rule is, a student with at least a 60% in mathematics can manage and fare well in engineering. The problem with our system is, today you have lakhs and lakhs of seats unfilled. So we need a constraint to fill up those seats. So the lowest eligibility is 45%. The next eligibility is 50%. So the students in the plus 2, even with 45% or 50% mathematics, are able to join an engineering course due to their peer pressure or the pressure from the family. They join the course. But the problem is, when they enter the course, there are 3 mathematical papers, M1, M2, M3. The first arrears starts from the M1 itself. Psychologically, it's an upset for him. Then subsequent mathematical papers. Because of the arrears papers, they fail in this mathematics, they fail in other papers also. So at the end of the 4th year, finally, this leads to 6 or 7 papers. So this area, again, we need to segregate them when they enter in a engineering college. We need to segregate them and teach them or improve their mathematical skills, because teaching mathematics is an art actually. Some of them do very well. So that psychological mind block from the student that mathematics is difficult has to be removed. So that occasion needs to be concentrated. Okay. Then apart from that, on the whole, let us take special and personal interest in the students. See, I will tell you, In my experience, whether it's in the school or my engineering, arts and science, or an IIM, many times I discuss my personal problems, not necessarily an academic problem, a personal problem with the faculty with whom I feel comfortable. They try to solve my problems. So the faculty's role is, it's beyond teaching. More than that, you take you understand their psychology and try to be more involved in their pursuit. You mentor, you become a mentor. More than a faculty, you become a mentor. You select a set of students, you mentor them. Likewise, each faculty select a set of students who needs this kind of mentoring. It will be a service. The other set of skills I'll just indicate are like interactive skills. In any interesting classroom, the interaction is most important. The most of the times, the faculty is in a monologue format. Once you involve the students and the interactive format, see, for interaction, you need better presentation skills actually. If you have to be more, see, you take a notes and don't keep on reading it. Once you do an interesting interactive thing, you need an interactive presentation. A lot of audio visuals, PowerPoint kind of thing. Even in PowerPoint, I have to tell you a formula, because I've been seeing this in many times. They not only in your teaching faculty, this happens even in the industry also. I'm seeing a lot of PowerPoint presentations where the entire page contains full of text actually, just copied and put in a thing, and you put that slide, you keep on reading it. Is already the student is also reading it. Then what is your role actually? Any PowerPoint should have only bullet points. Whatever you want to convey, maximum 4 to 5 bullet points in a page. Then start explaining. The bullet point should create an interest among the student. Then you start explaining it. Don't copy the full page and put it in a slide. You keep on reading. By the time you read, he's finished reading. That's not the way to do it. The other important aspect, or the other important skill I want the faculty to develop is the time management skill. Even now, only 25% of our faculty complete the syllabus on time. Many of them require extra classes on extra hours or extra classes on Saturdays actually. That has to be fine-tuned actually. Unless you manage your time, it's difficult. If everyone asks for extra classes, then where will the student go? This is one pattern. The other pattern is, there are faculties who cannot finish their lessons within that period itself. He will take extra 10 minutes. The other faculty will be waiting outside the classroom. You are stealing 10 minutes of his time, and what will he do in turn? So this is where you need to plan your time, and once you do that, that will be comfort. And final area, the other area is research and development. You need to concentrate. Now the government is going to focus more on this. So we need to, when I mean research and development, it's not PhD, guiding a PhD or doing a PhD. Doing your regular research as a scientist. Because we in this COVID situation, we talk about China. We want to follow them. But do you know what they did? They've identified 6 to 7 areas like artificial intelligence much before, 10, 15 years ago. And they invested so much of money on R&D. They kept on doing that for years and years. Now they lead. It's not come and overnight. So now it's time to, when we guide the students, when we guide PhDs, it's time for the science as well as the engineering fraternity to concentrate more on R&D. In that context, I want to request the faculty on one area, that is the students nowadays, you are giving a real-time project for them. Any engineering student has a real-time project. But finally, they end up buying the project from somewhere. It's unfortunate. It's highly unfortunate. So the very purpose is defeated. So I sincerely request, when you are aware of that, please don't encourage that. Don't encourage engineering students to buy projects from outside. Somebody else is did, and you are buying it for money. So that's not the purpose of it. My sincere request to the faculties: please don't encourage that. Please discourage that. Disallow it. Then the right trend will happen. And finally, I am ending up with the suggestions for handling today's, that is this generation of students. It's very, very, very difficult. I can suggest so many things, because the today's breed, this generation breed of students is a totally different breed. The reason being, most of them are single child. That's the phenomenon. Most of them are single child. You want to call a parent, you want to complain about this student, expecting that the parent is going to support you. No, none of the parents will support you. The parent supports only the child. So that is the pattern today. And again, the attitude from their side: I know everything. That's kind of attitude. Peer pressure for them. And the reason being, from day one till today, they got everything easily in their generation. Everything easily in their generation. See, for example, I used to talk 10 to 15 years ago. When I go to the student, I tell them, if I come from a very ordinary background in a village, I'll tell them an example that we have 4 brothers. My eldest brother buys a new pant. He will use it for 3 years and gives it to my next elder brother, and he will use that pant for 3 years. After that, that pant is passed on to me. So I use that pant for 3 years. And only for during Pongal or Diwali, I get a new pant. I tell my story. If I tell the story around 15, 20 years ago, I can see among the crowd, at least around 10 to 20 will drop tears. They will empathize with me. But today, the same thing, if I tell this student crowd, they laugh at it. So what? That's your fate. Why should I do that? That's the attitude. So they got everything easily. And they think no need of a hard work. Everything will come automatically. And they are choosy in everything. Their choice is not perfect. They are choosy in everything. Their choice is not perfect. And their expectations are very, very high. So the problem here is, now you need to deal with this kind of generation. You need to deal with this time. This is a very big challenge. Very big challenge. It's not the same breed when you started your career. This is a different breed. So my sincere, humble request as a fraternity is, please elevate yourself wherever required, whether it's in the skill set or to changing the attitude. Consciously elevate yourself, because you are in a very, very noble profession. I always have very, very high regards on the teaching fraternity, because that's a very, very noble profession. Everyone cannot succeed in that profession. You have chosen that field. You have chosen a noble field. You are doing a lot of sacrifices in this, actually. So to complete it, please elevate yourself. Only with this kind of elevation, you will be in a position to elevate the students. This is what I want to share with you today, this evening. And I thank all the faculty who have come and joined in this session, and also ICT Academy for giving me this very nice opportunity. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you covered your 25 years of experience in a nutshell. In fact, we also felt, as you rightly pointed out, because this is more pertinent to the students, improving the skill set and changing attitude. Normally, a masterclass speaker will not choose such a kind of a topic for the faculty members, especially very specifically when we have a mix of educators, including the chairman, directors, professors, assistant professors. I think this is a very tricky topic to handle. I think you had given a great insight, and you've justified why you've chosen this topic. You have covered a bit about leadership. You covered on research and development. You covered on managerial ability, the communication, how they should improvise. To make to be in sync with the students. I think it was a wholesome session which had every elements of how, why, and what a faculty and an educator should know. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
So a lot of questions and many appreciations are flowing in the chat just right of you. That shows the kind of a feedback and the kind of input. You yourself, many speakers used to call me and ask immediately after the session, how was the session? Was it well received? Incidentally, yesterday I hosted Dr. Mailsami Annadurai. But it is more specifically for the students. There were around 3,500 students yesterday who witnessed the session by the great scientist, and he took us through his life journey in 1.5 hours of a speech. Was well received by the students fraternity, and he definitely your insights were very much aligned to what he said, very precisely. The way you said, the project should not be bought. It has to be done. It has to be the student has to involve in that project, and it has to be his own product. It should not be something which is bought from somewhere from the outside market. He kept on insisting on that point very, very firmly. I think you also, as a concluding statement, you also touched upon it. So I think it will reach out to all the academicians. We have some 2023 educators who are witnessing this event all across. Sir, I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Because as you rightly said, you wear multiple hats. As I told you, I saw you anchoring a music show some 20 years back. I think you pioneered it through your Galaxy communication, Paattukku Paattu, which all the Tamil speaking audience will know. And that actually was a trendsetter. I think it right from my childhood days till I become an adolescent, I was witnessing that show. So Galaxy Communication did that in a phenomenal way. Then over a period of time, you went on to speak to the students. You were connecting with. I saw you speaking in various forums. I was one among the audience, listening to your speeches from various colleges and all that. After that, you took a different dimension called a chairman of an institution. What gave you that guts? Because you yourself, in explaining, you shared a statistic saying that close to 30% of the colleges are being closed, and the education is becoming a very tough, business which has a lot of challenges. So how you have taken the decision to start a management institution, how you are running it successfully? So can you...
I'll tell you, at that point of time, for my next elevation, I had two options. One is to start a television channel, or to go and for the academic stream. At that time, it was not a environment to start a new channel. Actually, there were some monopolies actually, so I couldn't come out of that and start a new channel. So I chose this field since I've taken as a passion and doing it as a career counseling. And since coming from a background like Indian Institute of Management, Calcutta, I thought, why not we have a class institute here in Chennai, and why not we do it here? But the thing is, I've invested so much. It's a central air conditioned, 1 lakh square foot central air conditioned campus affiliated to Anna University. But as you rightly said, I'm also finding it a bit of difficult to justify it actually. So now what I've done is I'm diversifying into skill development programs. So now most of my campuses, the space and facilities are spent on NSDC's skill development programs on various domains. So I feel the future is going to be on a skill development program and vocational development program. So apart from the management, so I will be concentrating now more on this vocational and skill development.
Fantastic, sir. So you have diversified that as well. you have touch your that is your quality. I always see it as a quality of you to differentiate something and to innovate. Apply your innovation. My second question to you, basically, uh, after this post-COVID, everyone is talking about, even the chairman of, AICT is talking about having a mixed proposition of teaching learning, 60 to 40, or a combination of 40, 30, 60. So what is your, having seen this whole education for the last 2 decades, and this is a new normal. It is not something which we have witnessed. So, what is your perspective, sir? How do you
You are
envisage?
talking about online education? Are you talking
No, I'm
about
talking about a general education as such, because
general education? Okay.
virtual education itself is a new concept for us. Thanks to COVID, it has done enough of damage, but it has also helped us to understand and leverage the power of technology in this learning teaching process. So, how do you envisage this education to be in the
Okay,
next few years?
I'll take it into two segments. First, I'll talk about online virtual education. Then I'll talk about the scenario now. So first, talking about the online or virtual education, it needs some more time, because there is always, that there's a digital divide between the rural and urban. So if you do anything in digital mode at this point of time, it will be there'll be the rural crowd or the rural students will be in a very big disadvantageous position. Even though we do a lot of this kind of sessions in the webinar or so many things, see, it's okay for a lecture, it's okay for a talk, or it's okay for a small discussion. But for a subject, for a detailed subject, for subjects like an engineering and science where you need dependency on practical this kind of thing, I think it will take some more time to settle down. That is one area. The second area, what about the post-COVID scenario of education, I feel this year the academic year is going to be little bit delayed, and I feel we have to wait for that. We don't have to we panic about it actually, because the survival is most important. Survival is my life is more important than my education or my career. So we have to give priority. We don't have to be panic in conducting examination. We don't have to be panic in starting the classes, everything, because you have to understand the student is not in isolation. The student is with father, mother, elder brother, eldest sister. The father is doing some business. So whether his business is going to continue or not, or the father or brother sisters are in a job, whether they are going to continue the job or not, whether they will continue get the salary or not. There's so many economic criteria, social criteria are there actually. So we don't need to be in a hurry to start the academic year. Delaying in the academic year, it's not going to harm anything. We can always compensate with extra hours. We can always trim down the syllabus, or we can always trim down the syllabus for the examination. We have so many ways of compensating that. So let us not panic at this situation. Let us wait for things to settle down. Definitely everything will happen. Regarding the engineering kind of thing, there is a confusion. Even now, every day, day to day, when my counseling, a lot of students come and ask me, sir, this COVID, people say all the IT professionals will be sent out of their job. Sir, can I take computer science or not? Kind of thing. I'm telling him, you are joining in 2020. By the time you come out of this course, it will be 2024. So you never thought within these 3 months, these things are going to happen. So in the next 4 years, so many things will happen. But let us assume all these things will be in the positive, because we have seen the worst actually. So now everything has to be automatically positive. So by 2024, when you come out, everything will be all right. So don't choose any branch based on today's situation. Choose any branch based on your aptitude and passion. That's what I've been telling you.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you so much, sir. Lot of positivity, I think, especially when it comes to a visionary like you, who deals with education, who sees education as a passion, who sees motivating students as your life journey. Coming positive, a lot of positive from you, positive words from you will definitely be a great motivation for the educators who are attending this webinar. And very soon, this will be up in the YouTube also. I think large volume of educators will understand that this too shall pass. This too shall definitely pass. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Thank you very much for accepting to talk.
Sorry, before concluding, being a person from a television anchoring, I have to compliment you. You've done a wonderful moderation of this job in this exercise. I compliment you for that.
Thank you.
I thank ICT Academy for this nice opportunity. Expecting to meet soon again for some other occasion.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.